The day has come. Hello! Before we start, I hope that you have all brewed a warm cup of something. I made myself some filter coffee, but we move. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. My name is KingTash. So today I'm doing a very extremely highly requested video. I finally have come to my senses to film this, and that is a Q&A. So I have the questions on my laptop. In case you're wondering why I'm looking down, now I'm looking on my laptop. There are a lot of questions. I've seen some of them. I've basically seen all of them, but I haven't read them. We're gonna see how many we can get through because I don't want this video to be too long, and if necessary I'll make a second part to this video. Let us jump into it. I don't know, some of you asked some sexual questions, some of you asked some really random questions. I put a question on my Instagram story, and I also asked my contacts if they had any questions, and you guys came with a lot of decent things to ask. And without further ado, let's get this going. Let's hit it. So I put the names of the people who asked me questions down. Some people were very brave and asked literally over 10 questions. I will answer those people's questions if we don't run out of time. So this person, I forgot who it was. If you know that this is your question, I'm so sorry that I left you out of this. I tried to find your name, but I couldn't find it. It's one of my contacts. But what are your biggest fears, and would you ever face them? So this is the one question that I looked at because I always struggle with the question, what is your biggest fear? Because I feel like I don't have fears. People who say they don't have fears have the most fears, and I learned that from experience. So I thought about it really hard, and I was like, what is the one thing that I'm very fearful of? And it's very specific, but I can explain it, and that is being alone in a foreign place in the dark. Because I'm not afraid of being alone. If anybody knows me, hardy dolls, I'm actually quite an independent person. However, when it comes to being alone in the dark, for some reason I get scared when I'm alone in the dark, and I love the dark. So it's like a paradox, but it's kind of tricky because like I love the dark and I like dark things, but being in the dark alone, especially if it's in the dark in a place that I don't know, and in my head I'm imagining like a forest in Europe, it's very extra. And would I ever face it? I would bravely face it. If I think of any other fears, I'll mention them, but that is literally my one fear. I'm not scared of like spiders or insects, and I'm not scared of getting sick disease-wise ever. I believe that that's a part of life, so if I get it, I get it. But generally speaking, I'm not really scared. I'm not somebody who's a pussycat. The next question was asked by Jared. So he said, what's your main goal during this lockdown, and how do you stay motivated to continue to stay on path to achieving your goals? So my main goal during lockdown, well, I have a couple, so I think I'll mention maybe 2 or 3. The first one is I wanted to write for websites and blogs and online magazines, and I've been needing to submit a couple of articles which I'm currently writing, but it's a way for me to make money, and it's something that I found while being in lockdown as a way for me to make money while I'm here. So you know, I always wanted to like write professionally, and it's one of my goals to write professionally one day and earn money, maybe write a book. I love writing. I like write every day. So I wanted to write professionally in a context of writing for articles and all that stuff. What was another goal? Oh, so I was a part of an agency for the past year. However, my contract with them has signed up. The agency that I was with was pretty useless. I literally didn't get any bookings or anything through this agency. So my goal was to find like a new agency to work with, and there's a couple who are interested. There's a couple who are interested and a couple who are keen to work, and I'm so excited because like I jumped into the agency that I was with for the past year because I thought it was a good opportunity, because they actually offered an opportunity, but offering that opportunity allowed you to be a part of their agency for free. And so I auditioned by acting and I got in, but now that I'm more on like the modeling or like face value part of life, I kind of just dropped out of acting, but now I'm going to go back into it in terms of agencies. So those are my like two main goals and things that I'm doing. How do I stay motivated to continue to stay on this path with achieving goals? I think he's talking specifically throughout lockdown. I don't know. I'm someone who I find it very easy to stick to routines, and someone who, if I know that I have to do something, I don't delay it. I'm not a very big procrastinator. I find that I only procrast if I'm very tired. So if I'm not very tired, I can work for long. It's one thing that I'm always doing. It's working, because I have a passion for what I do and I love it, so I don't find that I get tired. But the actual tip to staying motivated is, I think I'm very organized, so always write down what I need to do, or state to myself, okay, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to get done. Because sometimes I feel like if you dive deep without knowing where you're going or what you're doing, you're kind of gonna get lost. Know what way you want to go, or know where you want to start. At least it makes it much easier for the process to move from that point onwards. So staying motivated comes with looking at a lot of Pinterest pictures too, reading quotes, drinking coffee, and having people around you who motivate you and make you love what you do. The next question is by Max. So she said, when you meet someone, what in their personality makes you want to carry on talking to them compared to anyone else in the room? If the person has humor, immediately I can probably catch something. I don't like if I get approached by someone, let's say if they're trying to flirt with me or something. In this particular context, somebody's trying to, you know, flirt with me or like draw me to their personality. Humor is one of the biggest factors of what will draw me to you. In most people, like even if I look at my friends, a lot of them, I just have the first memory with all my friends is just laughing with all of them. Even though they're all different people, I can just laugh so easily with them. Or if I crack a joke and they laugh, that also would make me very happy, because I have my humor, I notice, changes with the people that I'm around. So I will make different jokes or make things funny in a different way compared to the crowd that I'm with. My friend Ali asked, your favorite and least favorite part of going to Europe? My favorite part was the traveling and seeing all the different places, definitely. I mean, when I was in Europe, I went to 5 countries in those 2 weeks, and just seeing all the different countries, like it was my first time ever going overseas. So seeing all of that for the first time was insane, especially all at once. That was my favorite part, just being so exposed. My least favorite part was probably the amount of money that I had towards the end, because I mean, being in Europe for 2 weeks and going to 5 countries is not a cheap thing. So I had money. I wasn't like ever stuck. But there was a point where I wished that I'd either save better while I was there or saved more before I came to Europe so that I could have spent more. However, I did spend a lot of money while I was there and a lot of money going on the trip. So yeah, the financial situation could have been a little bit better, but that was like my least favorite part. Belly had asked me, who is the one person who I care about the most? This is so difficult to answer because I have family, I have friends, and I have a boyfriend. And in my view, everybody's important and everybody I care for a lot. My friends, it's very difficult to choose who I care about the most because they're my friends. I care about them all. Family, I can stand out one person, and that is my sister. I definitely care about her the most. Now, Ayanda, my girl, you asked me so many questions, but she asked me like over 10, but I chose 5. The first question she asked is, what is the one thing I can't live without? Lip eyes. What do I want my final words to be? Smile. Number 3, the 5 most beautiful things in the world. Nature, water, animals, fashion, clothes in general, and homes. The most beautiful place. I'm going to answer this in terms of a place that I've been to. Either Malk Abbey. If you Google Malk Abbey, you'll understand. Like, I went to a castle in Malk. And then another very beautiful place that I've been to was probably Prague. Prague was really pretty. My most useless talent. Oh, I can impersonate the sound of a hardy-da. And the one time I was doing this and it responded. I'm not going to do it on camera, it's a little bit embarrassing, but if you guys really want me to do it, I will do it in my next video. But I can do the sound of a hardy-da, and I can do the sound of another bird. If I do it, you'll know which bird it is. But it's so useless. Like, yeah, I want to talk to the birds, but like that. Okay, Philippa asked, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? So I will be 23 in the next 5 years. So where will I be? Hopefully I will be in Cape Town. I'm trying to move to Cape Town by next year. That is a plan that I haven't revealed to you guys, but it's a plan that's in the progress because I want to attend a university in Cape Town. So if I get accepted and if I can manage to afford to go there, then I definitely want to move there. Hopefully by the age that I will be comfortable there. I want to, with the degree that I want to study in university, I need to reach masters to make it a profession. So I'm going to be studying for a very long time. With that in mind, I'm either going to do undergrad in Joburg and go do postgrad honors and masters in Cape Town, or go straight from undergrad to masters in Cape Town, or go straight from undergrad to honors and then come do masters in Johannesburg. Depending on the plan and the process, I'm not sure, but I want to apply to a university that side just because I want to go to Cape Town. It's like been something that I wanted to do for a very long time. I want to stay alone. I just want to be by myself for my degree, and then I'll see whether I'm going to stay in Joburg or South Africa for that fact and move. That's my plan that will determine everything else that happens. Hannah asked me, what is my deepest passion? I think the one thing I have a passion for in general is music, because I can play music, I can make music, I can listen to music, I can dance to music, I can do everything of music. And the thing is with music is there's no like favorite genre. I don't listen to one genre. If you look at my library, there's everything from rock, alternative, pop, local, house, everything. The only genre I don't really like is techno, but everything. What is my greatest dream in life? My greatest physical dream in life, like something that like I really do dream of getting, is a Jeep Wrangler or a Mercedes G-Wagon. I really, really, really want one of those cars someday. Like, it is one of my biggest dreams. At least as far as I've thought of, those are like the two cars I would want. One of my favorite YouTubers has a Wrangler, and when I was in Europe, my favorite city in Europe is Berlin, and I saw a full black G-Wagon parked outside a shop just as I arrived off the plane, and I was like, what are the odds? What are the odds? So I definitely do. That is the one thing I want to get. In terms of more values and more personal things, is to be able to heal and help people in any way, whether that's spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally. Just help and heal. Those two things. I think if I can get that done, I'll be pretty happy. Next question was Sack Attack. What's up, Sack Attack? She asked me how did I get into my relationship. This person and I, basically, we had met through school, and we would be seeing each other often because we had like the same school activities. And then we were speaking for a couple of days, and then we spoke over a period of time, and then we found out that we really liked each other and we had a lot in common. And then the one day when I was with him, we went to Nando's, which is one of my favorite places. I love their vegetarian pizzas. So he knew that I loved that. So he took me to Nando's and we just had a lunch. And he's a Zulu guy. So he asked me in Zulu to be his girlfriend, because we were doing this thing of him teaching me Zulu, because even though my dad is Zulu, I have no idea how to speak it or anything. So he asked me it in Zulu and I replied in Zulu, and then that's how the relationship started. KC. So one secret I keep from my best friend for life, and why? I think the questions are going to be deep if I hold up the cup. My current best friend is my boyfriend. I don't have like a friend in my friendship circle who I'm the closest with. I mean, there are a couple, but no one's like my best friend. But in terms of a secret that I hide from him, I can't think of any off the top of my head. We're kind of very open. We're the type of couple that can talk about anything and everything at all times. No secrets that I'm keeping from him. Nick. This person follows me on Instagram. What keeps me inspired and motivated? So I kind of mentioned it earlier on. I think being a spiritual person really keeps me inspired. And why spirituality inspires me is because it reminds me of myself. And I've been reading a lot of spiritual books and self-discovery books, and there's always a mention of spirituality. And even the most successful people and even the most happiest people have this sense of spirituality in them. And literally, if you can find something spiritual about yourself, no matter how you take that spirituality, I think that keeps me really inspired, because it reminds me, I'm just trying to do the best that I can at all times for the situation that I'm in. Also, every time you get reminded in a spiritual sense of something, or you manifest something, or something like synchronicity happens, it really does inspire you and motivate you to keep doing what you're doing. Like for me, I always see times, numbers. I have a oracle deck, so I always draw cards. They fly in slow motion, like my window's right here, so they come onto my roof and they fly in slow motion towards it. It looks so crazy, but anyway. Another thing that keeps me inspired and motivated is exercise. My whole life I've just been someone who loved sports and who loves to be fit and moving. And nowadays I'm obsessed with yoga and dancing and just like general exercise. So those forms of movement keep me really inspired and motivated, because after, I'm sure you guys all know, after a workout or after some form of exercise, even after yoga, you're like, yes, I did it, let's conquer the world. I always get that feeling. Definitely quotes. Like, I'm a very big quote girl, so I'm all about quotes, seeing quotes, sharing quotes, reciting quotes, learning quotes, making quotes. Quotes are life, and they inspire me so much. I have a Pinterest board with almost 700 quotes, two separate ones. One has almost 700, I think one is almost on 400 or 300. One about happiness and one about random quotes. Go look at them, I will leave it in the description down below. But I'm a very big quote girl, and quotes inspire me because they are reminders of things that you already know about yourself. Xavier, another person who was happy, cool enough to send me lots. Am I in a relationship? I think that I answered that by saying how I got into my relationship, but yes, I am. My zodiac sign, I am a Gemini. And only recently did I start seeing the very two distinct differences between the two faces that Gemini are supposed to have. And one is Tash and one is spiritual Tash. Why did I start YouTube? This is one of my favorite questions. Thank you for asking this. So for the longest time, I always wanted to start YouTube. I was like, I always watch YouTube videos. I literally used to, before I started YouTube, I used to only watch YouTube videos and repeat and repeat and repeat watching them. And then my sister started YouTube and I was like, oh, she's doing so well, this is great. And she was like motivating me. She's like, just do it. Like, YouTube is the one thing you cannot just wait for, you do it. And then there was like a day when I was like, okay, I'll start it next year. And then I was like, no. Before I went to Europe, where I was like, okay, no, I'm definitely going to start YouTube because I have something great to show, which was Europe at the time, but I also have something that would be so different to existing channels, which is showing that I'm a DJ, showing that I work with brands and that I model, and just showing the general like lifestyle. I think I'm going to get more into lifestyle, but I do different things to what the typical YouTuber would post, and that was the whole purpose behind my channel. But showing events, going to places, working with brands, something that people do when they have a large following, but that's something that I do for a living, which is why I wanted to start YouTube in the first place. My birthday, I was born on the 10th of June. Julia, Kidgel this time, not sack attack, but Kidgel. Why don't I wear my hair curly more often? So for those of you who know, my hair is not naturally like this, it's naturally curly. And the reason why I don't leave it like that often, now only this year and maybe some parts of last year did I really wear my hair down where it was curly. And firstly because it was at such an awkward length the first 3/4 of last year, because I had cut my hair around this time last year and it was like this short when it was straight. So when it was curly, it was literally like a little afro, and I don't like having an afro. Even though the curly hair is an afro, it's a little bit better, but the curls were just a little bit awkward at the time. So I was waiting for them to look okay, and I wasn't very confident in wearing them loose when they were short. So I waited for them to grow until they were a little bit longer, and then I started wearing it loose. And then this year I really went full force, because my curls may have been long, but they weren't healthy when I started wearing them loose. And then I decided, no, I need to take care of my hair, I need to take care of myself. So I started a proper hair care routine with proper hair products. And then when I started doing it properly, I was like, okay, cool, no, this is chai, let's do it, let's leave the curls loose. And that's why I started doing it this year. Going into the last couple of questions, Sihle also asked so many questions. I'm not going to answer all of them. I'm going to answer the top 5. Sihle and Ayanda, you guys are the best. You guys asked the most questions. Oh, now I think I realized who the first question was from. I think it was from Kine. I think so. Kine, let me know if it is from you. If I can only teach my future child one lesson, what would I teach them? Do not, and it's going to be hard, I know, but I will remind you, do not care about what these snakes say, what these 2 cent hoes say, what anybody besides your mom says. The minute you let what people say get to your head, you will be affected. It will affect you, and it's normal. But you got to try your best to stand strong, put your 2 feet on earth, and do not blow over. No matter what anybody says or what anybody's opinion is about you, you stand strong, because you, out of everyone, knows your truth and know who you are, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise, okay? Okay, sis, if my future daughter or child, son, them watches this video, it's to you. This next question is just going to spice it up a little bit. What is your biggest kink? And has it ever been performed on you? Rate it from 1 to 10 on a scale of how it was. So I like freaky stuff, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't experienced it, I'm not gonna lie, but I do like, you know, like a playroom with toys and weapons. That alone and everything in there is a kink. So I have not had experience with it, and I will probably rate that experience. Once I do have it, I will keep you up to date. But now you know what my kink is. This question's a really good one, and I hope that I can answer it. Is, if we learn from our mistakes, why are we always so afraid to make them? And if I'm being honest, from my own experience, I think that this is because of our own expectations on ourselves. I was reading a book recently where the author was explaining that expectation is like the enemy, because we have an idea of how we want the outcome to be, and we forget about the process because we're so focused on the outcome. But what happens when in the process you realize something, and then maybe that changes your expectation, or you only get to the end to realize that what you expected is not the outcome? We often see that when we don't succeed at something, that we fail at it, without seeing that maybe there was a lesson to be learned or something to be gained that maybe wasn't towards ourselves, but something that we could use maybe later in life, or something that benefited somebody else, depending on what that mistake was. Obviously, if there's no harm in the process, and if you didn't get hurt yourself physically or mentally, then I'm sure that it's okay. Mistakes, or we always overthink mistakes that we make, especially if you're somebody who has anxiety. You will think about something over and over again that you did wrong, but you will struggle to see the silver lining. You will struggle to see the gold or the lesson that could have been learned from that mistake or that thing that you didn't achieve. It's a part of life, but why do we judge ourselves for it? I know I sometimes judge myself for my mistake, but I'm someone, if you know me, my emotions are very small, so I don't really think or care about much, especially when I make a mistake. For me, personally, I'm not afraid of what other people think, especially when I make mistakes, because I'm afraid of what I think, not what others think. And I know people have different mentalities, which is the thing. And for those who really do worry about what other people think, if you yourself can understand and forgive yourself for your own mistake, then there's no need to worry about what others think. And let me tell you something, nobody cares as much as you do. What is the one thing people would never know about me just by looking at me? That I'm 18 or almost 18, that I'm almost 18 years old. A lot of people think I'm about 24, 25. No, honey, no. And then the last, exposed. So she asked me, what is my favorite type of porn? Okay, I do watch it, I'm not gonna lie. I have 2 favorite types. The type where they do it really fast, guy and girl going really fast, or girl and girl. Those 2 slap. Then Donaldo, I'm joking. What is the most challenging thing that I've experienced, and how did I overcome it? Probably the most difficult thing that I've been through recently is a story that I cannot share online. However, the way that I did overcome that situation was I made sure that I had someone to support me, because At that time, I couldn't talk to anybody about what was going on. So I really had to have at least one person, which was in my family, that was able to like help me in case I needed to talk or in case I needed to get guidance on the situation. So get help, like from someone that you trust. Get help. The second thing is just to take that situation one step at a time. Once again, not overthinking anything, but just trying your best to remain calm. And it's so much easier said than done, especially when a situation can blow up more than it has already. You kind of just have to accept what it is, which is the most important step to move forward, is accepting what has happened, or accepting the challenge, or accepting the issue, and then moving on from there. You got to be aware of it and you got to accept it before you can try to move forward. Because if you're not aware, what are you trying to accept? What are you trying to challenge? Maybe accepting will come at a later stage, but being aware, understanding what's going on, that will also come with time. And giving the situation time can definitely heal. Time heals everything. People say this and it gets annoying because sometimes time doesn't heal everything. Sometimes it's us who heal the situation. Sometimes it's others who help us heal. But definitely time in my challenge helped me a lot. And having people who supported me. The initial steps to take when a challenge is happening. And then the last question, which I didn't answer, was Nyanka, where she asked me what are the 2 lessons that I've learned in the past 2 years. The first lesson being that others, as much as you think that they do, as much as you think that they do, no matter who it is, whether it's a family member or a friend, people do not care as much as you think that they do. And the thing is I try to teach this to as many people as possible, because I have so many occasions where people, my friends and my family, talk to me about how they think others viewed them because of something that they did. And especially the challenge that I just spoke about now. I'm so glad that I got through it, and I got through it without thinking about what other people thought about me. Like, it was, the main challenge was having to deal with other people talking about me, and having to deal with how people would respond to the challenge that I was facing myself. The one way that you can get over things is reminding yourself of the solution, or reminding yourself of the grass that's greener on the other side. But the one thing I continuously reminded myself is that people don't care as much as you think that they care. People don't talk as much as you think that they're talking. If they're doing any of that, just know that they actually care about you, whether it's negative or positive care. One thing somebody taught me in life, which is another thing that I've learned that sort of ties to the situation, is when you think that you don't care about someone, you will know depending on how you feel. So if you really hate someone, and because you hate them you don't care about them anymore, that doesn't make sense. Or when you really love someone but like you don't want to admit it, or love something and you don't want to admit it but like you pretending as if you don't care, that's not caring. Not caring is when you can think about something or face something and not emotionally react. Like, the minute you stop feeling emotion, that's when you don't care. But keep telling yourself that you don't care when you feel something, means you still care. Somebody can say something about you or to you and you won't care. You won't care. You won't even react emotionally. You won't even have the mental space to think about what they just said. That's when you know you don't care. 80% of the time, if somebody tells me something, I don't care. Obviously, if it's something important, I'm caring. But if you have feedback, or if you have advice, or anything that I didn't ask for or desired to hear, it can throw over my head. And it's a trait that I love and hate, because sometimes I can dismiss things that are important to others, but I can also dismiss things that could have affected me, but I allowed it to be brushed over my head because I did not want it to affect me. You can choose how things affect you. You can't choose what happens to you, but you can choose how you react. And so that's another thing that I've learned. So you cannot choose what happens to you, but you can choose how you react. If you're going to scream, if you're going to cry, if you're going to be angry, that was your choice. It's so hard to not let our emotions control us and not let our emotions determine what we do, but you have to start practicing feeling what you feel before you react. And it's so hard, especially when a situation is happening in the moment, to say, okay, how do I feel? That's not the point. It's just understand how you feel, and when you can identify how you feel, choose how you're going to react. Are you going to let your anger make a decision for you, or are you going to stand back, keep quiet, move on, and then think about it later? You know, I've kind of practiced that a lot, to the point where I can enable it in action. Yeah. Nyanka, that's what I've learned. So those are most of the questions that I was asked. This video is already so long. I don't know how my storage is surviving, but just know that there's over like 30 minutes, 40 minutes of videos just from this hour of recording on my phone. So my phone's gonna hate me. I'm sorry about the camera situation once again. I will get the camera back after lockdown. Hopefully it's just the next 2 videos that I'm going to be filming on my phone. But it's okay. It's okay. We good. We're still coming with content anyway. Thank you to those who sent me the questions when I had asked. I appreciate you. There was actually a subscriber slash follower who asked me to do this for them. And they said that I should do this on a regular basis. So let me know what you think. If you would like this type of video to come more often. I think that that's where we're going to leave it off today. If you've got this far, thank you so much for watching this week's video. I honestly appreciate it. Please, 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 and I'm trying to think of a way to emphasize this more, please share the videos, the channel with your friends. Do you know that I'm almost on my first 20 videos on YouTube, and I'm so excited. This would make it video number 19, I think. So I have one more video to go after this to make my first 20 videos, and it's so exciting. And I really hope for the best for my channel, and I put in so much effort. So it would mean the world and the universe and more if you could just share the videos, share it with your friends, share it with your family. But I just know that the hardy does, they are officially a part of the King family. Thank you for watching, and I'll definitely be seeing you in next week's video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.